Hey kids, what's up? It's your good buddy Condor once again. And as you can possibly see, I'm decked out in something a little more formal, if you will, because I recently picked up a dealer job at my local poker hall, and I'm going to go ahead and admit these are the uniforms that we wear out there. So, but, I thought, I was going to be on shift tonight, but then I found out I'm not going to be on until the weekend, so I figured that, since I haven't done one of these in a while, I thought the next step in my poker takeover, if you will, would possibly be to show you some common mistakes that dealers sometimes make based on personal experience. So let's get this started. I got my mouse here, so I'm going to be controlling my camera remotely, though I think it's going to be staying in this one shot. But as you can see, we've got 2 stacks of chips, one on each side, 5,000. I guess that's the amount I've given. When you count chips, it's one of the most important things to do while you're in poker. You have to separate your chips and count them off. These white chips would be $25 chips. So 2 stacks of 4 would be $200. You take these red chips, stack them on top of there, that's 500 chips, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more red chips. That makes it 1,000. That's 1,000, and then there's 1,000 more. These are blue chips, and then there's a green chip. That's another 1,000, and then so that's 1,000, 2, 3, 4, and then here's 5, 6,000. Okay, so people start with 6,000 chips. I guess it's a typical stack in a tournament that I do at my poker hall. I think these are, I'm not sure if they're like low value or anything. I'm not sure what they are. I'm just putting them back, and my brain's not connected to my mouth. But hey, as I always do, they're always done in one take. So just a quick lesson on chips, because one of the most important things to do as a dealer is to make sure that you count the stack if somebody goes all in. More on that later. Now, we got your standard deck of cards. Now, what a dealer will typically do, and I'm going to shift the camera down a little bit and zoom in. Now you're going to want to separate the deck once, then take the corners and you want to put the pressure on the back of the cards with your pinkies, and then just rear the deck back, and then just let go with your fingers. So I'm going to do it the other way. They're going to fall right into place. Now it should look something like this, where there's minimal clumping. I think there's a little bit of clumping here, be more like here, but you can't really see it from this angle. But you want to make sure that you have at least one of every card, every other card in there. So you do, okay, so we're going to separate them, go once, twice, 3 times, then separate them 1, 2, 3, separate again, flutter again, cut it in half, ready to deal. Usually you would find a cut card on the bottom so you don't get to see what is on the bottom, but I guess this is practice sake. Now, a couple of things. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out again. Okay. So, when dealing your cards, I think it's always a good idea to aim at a stack. That's what I've been taught. So you take your left thumb and you prep a card towards your waiting hand like so. Getting this as much to the camera as you can. Now you don't want to take too many cards at once, you know, like that. That's unprofessional. And basically what you want to do is get that card in your right hand and then get a flick of the wrist. Flick, flick, flick. Now there's a couple of problems with doing what we call thumb dealing. You may have an opportunity, you may do something like this. You know, you'll flip a card up. Now, in the event that you do this while you're serving the rest of your players, this card, you know, remains face up until everybody gets their set of cards, and then you deal one more down card to the person that you gave this one to. This one becomes your first burn card. You know, that's a common mistake I try to avoid making, and I try to do that by, you know, you see how I'm doing? You see how I'm getting it between my fingers instead of doing this? Now it may not look like much doing this, but I'm only going like a short distance with these. You know, so you know you have to consider like maybe getting like an edge of the table way over here. So most cards fell off the table, but you get my point. So anyway, so yeah, I guess another mistake. Let's go ahead and, you know, barring those other cards, because I'm doing this in one take and I don't want to take any breaks. So we'll flip, flip, flip. Yeah, you got to notice that, you know, that they want me to go fast too, because, you know, it should take no less than 10 seconds to do all this stuff. So you go. So flip, 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 flip. Now, let's say this guy has this amount of chips left in his stack. It's a fairly small stack. Push all this other stuff to the side. So he has this. He's got this. So, and then he has a higher stack. I would like to say now the stack here, as you can possibly see, may not be as high as this one. In this case, it kind of is. But just because a stack is higher than the other doesn't necessarily mean that the stack is bigger than the other. I'll give you a prime example. A stack like this, you know, we're all white chips on the top. And then get rid of the greens, and then maybe keep a white out there, and then stack it with reds. You know, you got a stack like this. Yeah, this stack's higher than that stack, but this is the bigger stack. So that's why when he goes all in, this is why you got to count the chips. So what you got to do is just very quickly go for. Well, we already know that's 500, 1,000. This is 1,900. Let's say. So he has to match 1,900. Well, all you got to do is go green, blue, and 4 reds. So yeah, he has the higher stack by 1 blue chip. So the mistake that I made was that I let somebody in the field call out what the all-in bet was, and then by the time we had to go around, I'd already forgotten, and the field had to remind the winner what his chip was. So no, you know, the number one thing you want to realize, if you want to be a dealer, this is your table, this is your house. So you know, customers might want to be helpful, but you got to make sure that you know what you're doing, because there's a good chance you'll run into a table where nobody knows what they're doing and nobody knows how to play the game, and it falls on you, dude, the lowly dealer, to make sure that everything flows smoothly. And that's another good point. You know, you want to make sure that you point action, you know, delegate the action. So, you know, be vocal about it. I personally don't seem to have a problem with this. I'm just sharing this with you because I'm interested, and you know, so you know, and you kind of need to work on the wrist motion. I know this is gonna kind of look bad, but whatever. Because you know what I used to do is I used to do all this. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. You can throw out your arm doing that. So you might as well get dealer wrist, you know, have the pain like come up this part of the arm instead of the whole thing. So those are a couple of things that I learned that, you know, I shouldn't do and should do as a dealer. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and cut the video off here. As you can see, you know, I've been busy. You know, I've got 2 jobs now. I'm going to try to make videos as often as I can. I'm going to want to try to learn about value bets and belly buster bets and all that other kind of stuff. The advanced stuff for the real poker nuts out there. I got to give a special shout out to the Mr. Motherfucker himself, also known as Chiz Bizman. Shout out to It's Burlow. I know 2 poker nuts that I have found out exist on YouTube, so shout out to you guys. Link will be in the description. And leave your comments in the description. And as always, do your best to catch the condor, and I am out like this overdressed monkey suit. Keep it Condor.